everybody and welcome. It's Catherine from Jane Catherine on Books. I'm going to do something a little bit different here with this, and as I was looking through all my books I noticed that many books have got the name Rose in the title, or there's pictures of roses on the cover, and so it got me thinking, that'd be something different to do. Let's put a few books together with the title Rose or Roses on the cover. So this is just the selection that I found in my bookshelves. None of these I've read them yet, so probably it'll give me a bit of an inspiration to get on with them. So the first one I've chosen here is the Rose Petal Beach. Hope you can see that. This is by Dorothy Koomson. Now, Dorothy Koomson wrote The Ice Cream Girls, really a good book. There was a fantastic TV adaptation, probably a few years ago now on the television, of that, and it was really good. And this has got, you can see all these gorgeous rose petals that are on. I think you can see that on the cover there. Now, this is... the blurb on this doesn't really give much away. It's not very enticing. To be honest with you, I think it was the cover that made me pick this up, because when you read the blurb you think, no, I'm not that thrilled about it. So it's a family drama. I also get the impression that there's some sort of twists and turns and mystery going on here. And we have got Tamia, that's her name, Tamia is has been married for 12 years, and suddenly the police burst through the door and arrest her husband in front of the children for some horrendous crime, of which obviously we will find out when I get to the book. And also, we seem to get the feeling from looking on Goodreads that there are several narrators, not just Tamia's voice. Several narrators coming in who've got a different point of view. We've got several twists and turns, and it's a bit of a difficult one to get a sense of what it's really about apart from that. So I think the only way around that is to read it and find out for myself. But yeah, that's the first one with Rose in the title. The next one, they're all thick books as well, goodness me. The Midnight Rose by Lucinda Riley. Now, Lucinda Riley is a very prolific author. She does many family dramas, and I've just finished one of hers that was set in Italy. The Midnight Rose. Now, let's have a look. Excuse me. Let's have a look, see what sense we've got from this. Oh yes, so we've got often heard family dramas span the generations, and this is no different. So it's spanning 4 generations of a family. It's set in India in the time of the British Raj, and they are 11-year-old, and I have to look at this because it's a difficult name, Anahita. So we've got all difficult Christian names today, haven't we? Anahita, 11-year-old Anahita forms a friendship with an Indian princess, and she becomes sort of her companion and goes all over the world with her. And also it's set in 2 timelines, so we've also got present day, which is quite a prevalent theme with Lucinda Riley. So we're set in present day, and obviously there are secrets. People start looking into the past of these 2 girls, and obviously there's the usual secrets, twists and turns that come along with that. So excited to see what that one's about. The next one, The Tuscan Rose. This is by Belinda, Alexandra. Now, this is quite intriguing. It's set in wartime Italy. A baby is left on the doorstep of a monastery. I was going to call it a nunnery, but they don't call them nunneries, do they? It's convent, that's it. Convent. Nunnery. Oh dear, Catherine. Yes, left on the doorsteps of a convent. Nobody knows who she is, where she's come from. There is a slight clue in that a small silver key is hidden in her blanket. And so I think as this progresses, we will find out who she is and what her background is. She stays at this convent till she's 15 years old, and then she goes out into a big wide world. I think she goes out to be a governess of a family. I don't think she's treated particularly well. And also there's all sorts of, I think there's some political intrigue that goes on in this one as well. It's saying set in wartime Italy, romantic fiction with some political intrigue. So yes, I'm intrigued to find out what that's about. Just one little rose there, little red rose. Red rose for love, yellow rose for friendship. Next one, Rose Under Fire. This is by Elizabeth Wein. I think it's pronounced W-E-I-N, Wein or Wein. And this is book 2 in Codename Verity. Now, I have read Codename Verity. I got mixed feelings about it. I didn't rate it too highly. It got a little bit boring in places, if I rightly remember. But I'm interested to see what this second one in the series brings. I may read Verity again, Codename Verity again, before I pick up this second one, just to refresh my memory. And perhaps reading the two together, sometimes when you read two, you start to get a better picture and you enjoy it more, I think, if you perhaps read a few in the series, you know, close together. Now, this is interesting. Rose is, and I can't remember if Rose is the same protagonist that we had in Codename Verity, but Rose is a pilot in the war, but women were only allowed to, they weren't allowed in action, but what they did was they delivered the planes, when the planes were ready, they delivered them to the RAF bases ready for the men to go out and fight. So she was actually, they were called ATA pilots, delivering planes for the RAF. And unfortunately she is captured by the Nazis and taken to Ravensbrück, the awful camp where we've had, I've done quite a bit on that recently, because Lilac Girls that I read was about Ravensbrück, and the Ravensbrück rabbits, where horrendous medical experiments were carried out on them. So she ends up in Ravensbrück, and yeah, I'm very interested to get to this one. So yeah, Rose Under Fire. Now, I'm just on that note, I'm going to digress a little bit, because although we're looking at Rose and roses and things, but because we've been talking about the pilots in the war, the girl pilots, the ladies that were going out delivering the planes for the men to go off to war, I thought I'd give this non-fiction book off our shelves a mention. And this is Spitfire Women of World War II by Giles Whittell. Now, this is actually about the real life women, the real life pilots that did this job. The Air Transport Auxiliary came from every continent and every background, but all were astonishingly brave. Although not allowed into combat, they provided a vital link for the RAF and flew unarmed, without radios or instruments, at the mercy of the weather and long-range enemy aircraft, to deliver planes to the male pilots who would fly them into battle. So I actually thought, sorry for bending down, but I think they, you know, very interesting to read those two alongside each other, fiction and a non-fiction. So take a look at that. And then finally, we've got The Flowers in the Field. Now, I'm cheating a bit here, because I think really these are poppies. But they're a bit blurred, and we can pretend that they're red roses, can't we? Because it's a lovely book and it's a lovely cover. And I've been naughty and I'm putting it in. And anyway, it's my channel, I can put in what I want, can't I? Yes. So, The Flowers of the Field by Sarah Harrison. Another chunky book. I mean, goodness me. initially I thought, oh yeah, perhaps May, I'll do everything with Rose in it, and everyone seems to be loads. 746 pages, and that's just that one, so I'm not sure I'm going to give myself that little project. We'll see. So this is set in World War One, and we've got three women in this. We've got Dorothea, Dulcie and Primmy, and not much more known about that apart from it's looking at their world, I suppose, their lives within the war and everything awful that was going on. 3 different characters. Mixed reviews. I mean, people seem to have either given it really good reviews or, you know, really low reviews. So I always think you have to read it yourself and give it your own thoughts and see what you think of it, because we're all different and, you know, we all rate it differently. So yeah, I've been a bit naughty. I'm sneaking that bit in, but yeah, poppy's actually one of my favourite flowers. I prefer poppies to roses. So there we go. Hope that's given you some food for thought. Hope there's some new titles there that you've not seen before. Go and have a look at your own shelves and see if you've got anything with Rose in the title or roses on the cover. You might be surprised like I was. See you again next time. Bye, BookTube.